Hello again, guys. So I've jumped you into the future here. It's been around 3 months since my last episode. It's presently February 5th of 2025 in my world. And I'm coming back to this. Quite a bit has changed in the world, and I will fill you in on that. But what I'm going to do is probably jump in this weekend for like 3 or 4 episodes. Try and get myself into a position that I can start doing this as like a diary entry every Sunday. That would make me very happy if I could pull that off. I might not be able to, but I'll give it a go. So first of all, in Palestine, in real life, the genocide is over. So that's a big deal. And the other thing that's a big deal in our world is that Mr. Donald J. Trump has come into power in the USA. Everyone's flipping out about that. So I'll let you know, probably I'll talk about that stuff next episode. This episode, I seem to recall that I haven't told you about the tech yet. So I'm going to have one final episode of telling you about my little video game to start out here, and then I'll tell you about some more useful stuff in the next few. But in this game, we're getting close to a point where my Academy faction is going to have its crisis moment, and I want to have as many of these, as many control points as I possibly can by then. So all 3 of my control point grabbers are going to be busy grabbing control points for this entire set of episodes, basically, which will leave me free to talk to you about other matters, which is good. So let them get to it. And now I'm going to jump over here and tell you about the tech. So there's 2 kinds of tech. These top ones are what they call technology in the game. The bottom ones are what they call engineering projects. And the top ones, all 7 human factions share them. So me and the other AI controlled are fighting over all these factions. Here's a new project. That's one of the engineering projects. I'll tell you about them in a minute. But these are how the game progresses. You have to get these to unlock those other ones. And we're fighting over them because whoever has the most percentage of the research in a particular project, it's a big deal to get the most, because then you, for one thing, get to choose the next project out of this tree, out of the available ones on the tree. And then what you also get to do is you get a bonus to unlocking the engineering projects. So right now I care a lot about the deep systems like Skywatch. Aliens are landing. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. So that's these. I fight with the other human factions over these, but remember, the big enemy is not the other human factions, it's the alien faction. So my real enemy is not sharing this with me. So it feels like it's shared, but it's not completely shared. It's only shared with the humans. And then these engineering projects are the other important thing. These are the ones I have unlocked right now. And they're the ones who have real impact on the game. Like this one here increases my control point. That's this thing. It increases that by 10, which is a big deal, and it opens my next counselor slot. It opens a 5th one of those guys, which is a huge deal. So that's a pretty impactful one. But this is what I'm able to achieve with those engineering projects. This energy lab. This one is going to create me a module for my space station. I control the ISS, so I'll put that on there. And then I guess, so yeah, all these big projects, the tech projects, unlock engineering projects. And most of these have a good few they unlock. So if you look at the expanded tech tree that includes the engineering projects, some of them have a lot. So like mission to the moon over here will let me go to the moon. Let's see if I can show you that.
We failed to take control.
I failed to take Palestine. I'm going to need to take Palestine.
Our presence is growing.
I got Yemen. Okay, so mission to the moon will give me... Well, here, let's go back to this other thing. This tech tree even slows down the game. It's considered a poor part of the UI. The guy's going to update it. But okay, let's look at advanced chemical rocketry. it can open up a bunch of new technologies, advanced missile, these ones down in the middle here. But it also opens up all these projects with 100%, 52%. All that business is the chance that I unlock it as a faction. So basically that's how it goes. Okay, that's the end of my turn. I'm thinking about trying to grab a second turn right now. Maybe blast through the game a bit faster. That could be fun. Okay, so the aliens have landed. I'm gonna go explore them.
Surveilling target area. What's the up?
The aliens, they keep sending... So the alien menace in the outer solar system keeps sending me little probes, and those probes crash on Earth. This is the second one. But if I zoom out to... that's a pretty low chance. Am I gonna get a better chance? Oh, am I trying to grab Israel? Yeah, I feel like it. Okay, I'm gonna grab Palestine. But anyway... Yeah, let's grab a couple of... Oh, here's what I'm gonna do. Boom.
Putting our people in place.
And
Standing by.
boom. I'm just grabbing whatever nations. I just want a bunch of nations.
We'll
And
bring
in
this
fact, what
nation
I'm
to
gonna
our
do
side.
is... Where am I? I'm gonna abandon them all. Oh. But I'm gonna build up my unity. And then having them around is gonna be good for when the event happens. So let's keep right on trucking. So anyway, the aliens landed. I'm now looking around the crash site with one of my guys. And if you go out to the solar system, you see this pink line that isn't a real planetary body by any means. That is the next alien ship that's on its way to land on Earth. And if you look at Earth's orbit, you can see it's going to be maybe 2 months, or 2.5 months until that one lands. So in the first few years, the aliens keep sending these ships. And I don't think my faction officially knows this yet, but what they're doing is every crashed ship, like an alienist, gets out and goes running around Earth, exploring our societies and snooping about, basically. So that is what's going on. Now, for the tech, I more or less explained it. The way you get technology points is from your nations, particularly rich, developed Western nations. Right now, most of it's coming from me. Most of mine is coming from France. All these little bits and pieces around Europe are providing a bunch. And then my holding in Canada is providing a bunch. So every nation has, over here, monthly research. And you can boost that. It's tricky to boost it, but this is one of the key things your nations are getting you. Later on, you can put some in space, but Earth is always going to be a key piece of the research puzzle, basically. So yeah, another thing I wanted to touch on this episode before we end is one of the conceits of the games is that when the aliens come, it causes the nations of Earth... Oh, that's a shame. It causes the nations of Earth to unify. And one of the reasons I just grabbed these 2 Yemens is this unification thing. In the game, Saudi Arabia has the ability to unify with South Yemen. South Yemen has the ability to unify with North Yemen. So if I control them all, that means I can put into place diplomatic operations to unify South and North Yemen. And then once they're unified, I can then unify them with Saudi Arabia. And all 3 of these countries can become one empire for me. And that will get me more resources per control point, which is quite a big deal. So that's what I'm doing here. Next episode, I'll tell you how the world is going. It's all pretty interesting. Likely more interesting for you than how my video game works. But you know, you got to indulge me. You have no option. And then I'll tell you about my life. I might do another episode this weekend to talk about something else as well. So that's where we stand. I will see you guys. I'll try and do an episode tomorrow. Ciao.